Hey guys, Fracture Muffin Cake here and welcome to Planet Zoo. This is the beta version that was released today and I thought we could check this out. I've had quite a lot of issues with OBS, so I've binned OBS. I'm trying some other software, so we'll give it a go, see how this goes. Fingers crossed. So yes, very similar look to Planet Coaster that we have here with our globe. I've already created, my little character, and she's got an awesome hat on and those lashes are amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we have career option and franchise, but no sandbox, which I'm very surprised about. Planet Coaster came out with the sandbox only, so you could do quite a lot. And the careers came out later on, but this one you've just got this career and franchise. So with the career, we're going to embark on a career in zoo management, complete varied and increasingly challenging scenarios and see how far you can go. And with the franchise, are you ready to launch your own franchise, build zoos all around the world, breed animals and release them into the wild, but don't forget about your visitors. So I think we'll start on the career. Okay, and we have Goodwin House, stately home, schooling, which is, I can see, like in the UK area. So let's click on this. So Goodwin House, renovated and renamed after it was purchased by Bernard Goodwin in 1980s. Goodwin House has since become one of the most respected zoos in the country. More recently, it has undergone a further renovation to update many of the habitats and facilities, but due to various issues, the work hasn't quite been completed, which is where we come in. So let's start new and get this going. So yes, I have completely given up on OBS. I tried several times, and although the recording was fine, while I was recording it, when I looked at the file, like so far into it, it would start just lagging, and it was just like a still image for like 10 seconds or so. So I'm trying some other software. So fingers crossed this will go okay, because I was so hoping to get this out for you this evening. Currently I'm not sure if that's going to be a possibility now, but yes, let's just enjoy the Planet Zoo beta. What I will say is they chat quite a bit in the tutorial we're going to go through, and sometimes I find it hard to talk because I usually end up interrupting them.
At Hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Awesome. So this is Planet Zoo. I'm so excited actually to get going and then bring this to you. As there's lots of delays, it's not been great. I think Nancy's going to pipe up in a
Hello
second.
there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on.
I'd like to see what's in here.
But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarise you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Okay, so let's pop over. It's very similar controls to Planet Coaster. So I kind of know them. It's been a while since I played that. If you do want to laugh, they're actually the first videos that I brought out on my channel. So yeah, my very early videos. So here we are at the grizzly bears.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel.
Zachary. It's gone for a swim.
This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Okay, let's have a little look at this. You see what I mean when they're talking quite a bit? I obviously don't want to interrupt them so you miss anything. Let's go to the camera. Oh, cool.
See, now,
Look.
this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it.
That's a proper bear, Dave.
Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Awesome. And look at the little tail. It's very cool. Okay, so let's come out of this view. And I think we have to go and find the lions. See you later, Zachary. I wonder if we can name them. I know you're supposed to name the people in Planet Coaster. I'm sure you did. So over here, yeah, we have the lions. Oh, look, where are they?
Panthera leo leo.
There's one there.
West African lion to you and me.
There's a baby.
Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride. Although prides of that size are pretty rare.
I didn't see this one
Bernie
before.
would say, those lions are awesome. Which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to our warthog habitat and see what needs doing there.
Oh, it's so cute. Look. Meow. I didn't spot him last time. Awesome. Right, let's pop over to the empty habitat. Zoom out here. Very cool. Right, where are they? Over here. Warthog, I think she said.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for warthogs, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. The warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section.
Okay, animal trading's down here. And we've got the market. Oh, look, here they are. Cool.
There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Buy from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
That would be kind of cool, though. I think that's something we should have to do in the future. So yeah, we've got all the information here. We've got the sizing, longevity, fertility, and immunity. And you'll have to bear me a second because the cat's here. 1 second. Right, I'm back. The cat's in. The dog goes mad when the cat's at the window to come in. He loves Rufus for some reason. Rufus doesn't like him too much. Right, so yeah, we've got all the information here about genetics and breeding for the warthog, and also got the adopt option and the source private zoo. So let's adopt, and we've got to do this one as well.
When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade centre, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home?
Okay, so go here. This is the animal storage, and they're currently in trade centre. So we can send to zoo, and then we just select this enclosure. And delivery scheduled. Okay, and this one as well. Send to zoo, pop in there.
When
I like
you
the
ask
fact
for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
Okay, as I was saying, I like the fact they just don't plop them in there. They actually get delivered, which is kind of cool. We should see them. Oh yeah, there they are, look. Oh, he's off.
Well, as you
I guess
can
that's
see,
him.
those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to
Oh,
place
it's
the
over here.
animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat. But I am assured by a
Oh, look,
person of good
there's one here
standing
already.
that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's
That's
get the
funny
warthog's
looking, isn't
habitat
he?
finished up so we can keep them nice and happy.
Too
You
close.
see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment.
Sounds quite complex.
Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information.
Awesome. So yeah, we've got everything here about them, which is good.
Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
Okay, so we've got the food trough here. We'll pop that there. And we have a water bowl as well. Pop that here.
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
Okay, this would be a good space. I don't know how big it is. Mud bath. We could pop that there.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a fair old state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
Oh, hippos as well. Awesome. I'm actually surprised there is as many animals as there are, because I thought it might be a little bit less, seeing it's the beta. So let's zoom out and see where we're heading to now. Over to the ostrich enclosure. This one here.
Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Okay, so barriers. Oh. And this is the habitat gate. Okay, so I guess we've put it here, seeing it's pointing us in that direction.
Right, let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
Okay, this is the brick barrier. Now we've got to try and build it in this section here. These walls are quite nice because they can curve, but there's some like restriction on it. But you can also change all the settings down in the bottom right. You've got the angle, snap, length, height, and all things like that. So let's see if we can get it straight, then maybe just put some curves on the end. Oh, is that a bit too sharp, is it? Okay, let's go back one. Delete that. I'll try that again. I might have to curve it a little bit before we get there. Try and give as much room as possible. And then bring this down to here to join it up.
Good work.
Thanks.
Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in.
Okay, so maybe this bit here. And then we want the glass.
There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them.
Okay, so we need to add a donation box of facilities and a donation box. I guess we put it near the viewing window, like here. Do?
All
Yeah,
right, you've
try
finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
Awesome, 4 ostriches. So let's just close this off. It does block the view quite a bit, that, I must say. I know in Planet Coaster you used to be able to like move it slightly, but again, this is a beta version, so that might be developed into it in the future. So yeah, we're on to the adopt 4 new common ostriches. So we go to the animal trading, and we need to go to the market. Okay, so we've got 4 here. So we don't want to be ordering all those elephants. So we can actually send to zoo from here, or we can actually do it from there. So let's just do send to zoo. So that delivery is already scheduled, so then we can get the next one. Adopt, and then send to zoo. They should hopefully start delivering them shortly. 2 more to go. Send to zoo, you can go in here, and we've got 1 more common ostrich adopt. Send to zoo, there we
While
go.
we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item.
Okay, so that's under habitats.
It's
Okay.
often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Okay, so we've got a slow feeder. We could put that near here. They can see them eating. We've got food bowl large. We could pop that here. And we've also got a water trough. I might just pop that there as well. It surrounds the... Ooh! We have bronze.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Awesome, so it's got us obviously the most popular species, zoo guests, cash, and date completed for the bronze. Let's continue, because they've been delivered. Cool, look at him. He looks quite small, that one.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did he do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich.
Oh, wow.
So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it
He's
easier
huge.
for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
Oh, he's huge, that one, compared to the first one that I saw. His feathers are good, though. Like him. So you're... How old are you? You're nearly 16. How old are you? 13. Difference in size. That's incredible. Okay, so now we have to build a keeper hut. Got a little sprinkler as well. So they want the keeper hut near this section, obviously. So let's go to facilities. And we've got some options here, but I quite like... get rid of this. What's this one? Classic keeper hut small. That's quite pricey, that, isn't it? So yeah, it seems like it's the same controls, roughly, for placing things. And it looks like you could probably build your own keeper hut if you wanted to design it. And you can also build onto this as well with that build grid we've got there.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh,
Hippos.
But bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we?
Okay. Place a transformer. That's not in its own building. I guess you could...
Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because
Add your
you're
own
using
building.
the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off.
Is that this one? Oh, okay. Yes, you could build around that to hide it a bit better. Doesn't look very nice, does it?
Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away.
Okay, let's have a quick look at these hippos. Oh, X6, we're not editing that at the minute. So move them. Oh, this makes an awesome sound. I like the hippos. They're very cool. Are they going to go for a swim? Did he just have a poo? I wonder what that noise was. Oh no, look! I was standing behind him and everything. I think I might need to check what you're eating, mate. Okay guys, I'm probably going to bring the episode to an end here. Also gives me a chance to make sure it went through okay. And then when we come back, we will then, in the next episode, have a look at the Bengal tigers on that section. So thanks for joining me guys in Planet Zoo at the beta, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.